Good morning, good morning. So I'm back in the garden here in Pearl City, and we've got a lot of flowers blooming, and we've got all different stages. So I wanted to share some things with you. I'm going to turn this around and show you. We've had these really nice, beautiful sunflowers. So these sunflowers are branching sunflowers. So you can see they have just all over. So there's lots of different flowers coming out from all of where there's a leaf, then there's a flower that comes out. So some people at this stage would say, oh, they're not pretty, dig it up and get rid of it. But this is prime time for all your critters to come in and enjoy the sunflowers, and it's really, really pretty because they'll come every day and visit. So when the flowers are opening, of course, you get a lot of bees because these sunflowers have pollen. Be careful. If you want to bring bees and pollinators to your garden, you need to make sure that the variety that you are planting has pollen, because there are some non-pollen producing sunflowers. So this was a mixed bag. So we've got this yellow here, which is solid yellow, and then there's this variety, really, really pretty with that burgundy, and then we've got a striped variety. Let's see if I can get a nice one. So you see the petals have more of a, no, not that one, this one, see more of the stripes on there. So there's different varieties, and these are perfect for your garden because, you know, if the other one doesn't go, the one that's just one big one, the mammoth ones that you see, they're interesting, but these are actually easier to get lots of variety. And look, so this one has this one is already gone, the striped petals. Look, even good morning, Karen, how are you? Even the stem is speckled. The dark one, look at the stem, it has a dark stem. And then the one that's yellow, he just has a plain stem. So I wanted to show you because I just think it's beautiful when they hang down and start to look like that. But look, this is what happens. So these are not the seeds. These are the seeds in here, and you can see you're going to start to get little holes in there because the birds know now that this is a source of food. The seeds need to dry out a little bit for the birds to enjoy. And so here as the thing. So please, if you're growing sunflowers, leave them until they are crispy brown. Look at this little guy. He's just a cute little thing growing in there. Let's see if we can see him from the other side. So yeah, he's just there. Good. Love someone just have, yes, great. Good morning. Yes. Doing well, trying to get out in the garden. I tried to get out here, get working early, and anyway, I wasn't able to get in for who knows whatever reason. So we're here. It is a little after 8, so it is quite hot, but I did not have a chance last week to do a video, so I wanted to do a video this time. And we've got marigolds here. This is a big duck variety, and so they did so well over there, so we've replanted them. I want to continue to share this amazing petunia. It was grown from seed. Cannot remember the name of it. It is an All-America Seed Selection variety. That's one plant. One. Petunias don't like fancy food. So put them in soil that's rough, and then give them just enough water and they'll be really happy. So the rocky, low nutrient area in your garden that nothing else wants to grow, petunia will be happy. If you give it too much nutrients, it's not going to grow, and it's going to struggle and die. So here we go. This was our dill plant that volunteered, and so we made sure it stayed there. It was our little nursery for all of the ladybugs, and now it's done. It's loaded with seeds, but I can see many of the seeds are missing, so birds have been coming and getting that I'm gonna see, can you see this guy? This is the shell, probably the exoskeleton or so, I'm not really sure. Do you see that guy right there? That's from when the larva of the ladybug. So I think they go through 4, maybe 5 larval stages. So that's the skin left behind. So a fascinating thing. Slow down, look at all these things, share it with your kids. Kids love, they're right down there, you know, but if you don't take the time to show them and get excited about it, then they're not going to get excited about it either. But once you show them those things, they will love being in the garden. So, and then this is our chop and drop comfrey, and it just breaks down quickly and stays there and helps suppress some weeds. Here's the big duck. This one is kind of seen its prime, but you can see how large these flowers are. This is the orange variety. There's also a yellow one. I think 2 shades of yellow, a pale yellow. Yes, I think we had a leak by the soybean. No, wait, the cowpea. I think it was in the cowpea. Yes, we came in, the thing came on and we saw, again, look at this guy, huge. He's probably 4 feet by 3 feet. This was one that didn't get any water and we moved it over here. It was half dead, but it came back to life. And look at how happy he is. So don't give up on the petunias. If it's dying, maybe it needs just a little bit more water and then it'll come back. This tomato is done. We'll be cutting it down completely today. Our crazy daisy, we had one bloom there, but you know what? For us, we just couldn't get it to bloom. So we're probably just going to dig up these plants. We don't know why it didn't bloom. It was 2 years. We got three blooms over 2 years from 3 different plants. We don't know what the problem was. And then over here we have some, I can't remember what this is, but this is a cover crop. So we're just throwing that in there. Sad little pepper. Got some beans over there, trying to get them so they can grow on this trellis. Hopefully we can get them going. This tomato was done. And then this guy looks like he's finally done, but still, it's still pretty. Look at how long these things are. And they're loaded with seeds. And so they fall down in there. And hopefully when we pull that up, we will get some volunteers to come back. This is one plant here, and I know a lot of birds have been able to get in there, get some food. This is cowpea here. We grew this as a cover crop. So here are the seeds. It's in the soybean family. Technically it's edible, but apparently it's not very like it would be a famine food because it's not like really tasty and tender, but once it got established, it's growing very well. I don't see any bug action on it. I don't see any disease on it. So like I said, it would be a good famine food. Soybeans are in the same family, and of course they taste very good. So you could save these and use it as feed for cattle or pigs or what have you. Eggplant continues to put out. It's the never-ending supply of eggplant, and you can see this is almost like a tree. So again, here in Hawaii, you can just plant one and you can have that going for probably about 3 years. Oh, here's a so that's the reason why you should be around when your sprinkler system goes off, so you can see when things happen. The little thing pops off, or who knows, I don't know. So it's good to be around when your sprinkler system goes off. Here's our jicama. We are growing it dry this time. So we're not getting those beautiful blossoms like we did last time, in an attempt to get some jicama down in the soil, which we did not get when we watered it. So we shall see. We're still waiting on the jicama. It's always an experiment here. Here we go. We have some cover crop growing here. This is ryegrass, so we've let it grow and now it's going to seed. This is good cover crop. We've got some there and it's just kind of filling in. So I don't know, we'll see how this is the first time we've grown it in here. So we shall see how long we want to keep this in here, and if we want to keep it going maybe throughout until the next good growing season, which would be like January, February, because it's quite hot right now. And we shall see. But I think it'll be very pretty once it starts going to seed. It is really pretty. You get the rye going there. And I know the birds will like that there. And we've got some zinnias growing in there. Here in this plot, all these little things growing here are, what was it called? The blue flower? Borage. Borage, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, we had one growing here and it was going like gangbusters, and then it decided it was done. So we plucked it up, and then all of these are the volunteer seeds, and it was really, really pretty. It's great for bringing bees, etc. into the garden. So maybe we can move some of those to other locations so we can have it growing, because the plant did get quite large. It was maybe 24 inches in diameter. This is the Valentine, right? This is I believe it's the Valentine. So this is a little football-shaped tomato. It was getting a little spindly on the sides, but it was also getting gangly. So we pruned back hard all around the edges, just cut them all off. And you can't really see them from the top, but we have a lot of fruit. You can see it's a nice size on the fruit. Since we pruned it back hard, the fruit has increased by about 50% on the size. But if you get down and look underneath, we have this nice structure. That's all the fruit, all the tomatoes are up underneath there, going and growing well. So this is our daikon. It's a cover crop, radish cover crop. Oh, we tried to eat it and it was not very tasty. So there it is. You can see it. It's growing up. It's pushing up out of the ground. You pull it out. So again, I don't know who would eat this. Maybe it would be good for pigs, but we're just going to chop it up and put it into our compost buckets, and because this was just grown as a cover crop. Look, you can see a whole bunch of them. They're just busting out of the ground there. So yeah, we're just growing it to. We had a plot here, and we just needed something. Look at our corn. So we trimmed off all the leaves last time, and we're leaving them in place. And that guy looked like he got eaten a little bit. But here and here and here, we're growing beans in here. So the beans will grow up, use the stalks of the corn to help support them. And so it's a Three Sisters method, if you've ever heard of that. I don't know if it's a true story. I hear about it. Native Americans using it, talking about the Three Sisters method, where you have corn, beans, and squash, like a pumpkin type squash, all grown together in one mound, and you plant them all at the same time, and they all take care of each other. But you can look that up. And Three Sisters, it's the Three Sisters method of growing. We don't grow pumpkins out here because the squash bugs out here are, or in Hawaii anywhere, are pretty incredible. So we just went for the path of least resistance and went with beans and corn. One other plant I just wanted to highlight while I'm out here, and I see, good morning, Rick, how are you? Is this plant here. It's called Ohai. It's a native plant. And it's actually a coastal plant. So we're in Pearl City, which is inland. It's doing well. It's a very unthirsty plant. It does need some water to get started, but we've been experimenting growing some seed, a couple of us at home, and I noticed that after it got started, good germination, that even when I was continuing to give it good water, it kind of got stunted and it stopped. So then I repotted in a bigger pot, and I significantly decreased at that time. It was maybe 3 inches tall. Significantly decreased the amount of water, and suddenly it started flourishing. So you want to give it what it wants to grow in. It's a coastal plant, so it's very adapted to salty air, and that's why it has the silvery leaves, and it's got this little fuzz on it that's kind of reflective. Anyway, so it's adapted to coastal areas. The reason why I wanted to show it to you, I was not familiar with this plant until we started getting in and trying to harvest some of the seeds. As I was bumping up against it, and the flowers. So you have these pretty peachy colored flowers. The flowers, and I kept smelling something. Lo and behold, it's not the flowers that are smelling. It's this. It's the tips here, these new growth tips. And it's a hard smell to describe. It's sort of like a fruity, almost like an apricot jello is as close as I can get to describing the smell. It is a lovely smell because it's not overly sweet. It's something that's really, really different. It's fruity. And we've got a guy here. Can you see him? I don't know if he's taking a break. He's just tired. He's resting. So this is Ohai. And then the seeds here. You get the seed pod. And in order to get these to grow, you need to, there's different techniques. But it needs a scarification of some sort or hot water. So what I did was I take this pod and I put it in a shallow dish and I pour boiling water over it and then let it sit overnight. And then the next day I will pull the seeds out and plant them, and I had an extremely high germination rate. Another person here, she didn't put boiling water. She put hot water, but maintained the hot for, I can't remember if it was for an hour. So there's different techniques, but it's or you can take the seeds, and scarification means to rough up the surface. And so anyway, again, this is Ohai, O-H-A-I. You can look it up. Fascinating. It's a native plant. If you like the look of bonsai, it lends itself well to it. Can you see how it's naturally growing, the trunk? And this has been pruned back. It hasn't been shaped, but it's been pruned back to keep it off this pathway. And so it wants to lay over and grow because it's a coastal plant and it's preparing itself for high winds, etc. So this is the Ohai, and unthirsty plant. Very, very interesting. And lovely smell to it. So as I'm walking by and I'm bumping these tips, I'm getting that really nice smell. So that's the garden this morning. I gotta get busy working in here. If folks have any questions, please feel free to ask me. But for those of you who join me, thank you so much. And I'm going to show you over here the sunflowers again.